Assalamu alaikum, family. How's everyone doing today? Hope you all are doing well. Hope you had a blessed and wonderful weekend and a blessed and wonderful Monday. I know in many parts of this country it is hot. I know in my hometown of Detroit, it's been 90 plus for the last, I think, 4 or 5 days. So they have been sweltering in the Midwest, as well as the East Coast and down south. Out here in California, it's been in the mid 60s, sunny, but in the mid 60s, but like a cool, pleasant type of weather. You know how the Bay Area gets. Those of y'all who've been out here or live out here. But for those in the Midwest, the South, on the East Coast, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Do not go out if you don't have to. And if you do go out, make sure you go out in the early morning hours to get you some vitamin D, some sunlight. But don't go out in the afternoon because you're going to bake. So y'all be safe out there. And the likelihood that you're having one of those days, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, getting to the topic for this video, on Sunday, Shams Charania, who took over for Adrian Wojciechowski, I think he went back to his alma mater for a position. But Shams has been on it. He's been thorough. So he reported on Sunday that the Phoenix Suns traded Kevin Durant for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th overall pick in this year's NBA draft, which is I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, and 5 second round picks. So let me repeat this. Phoenix received, so the Houston Rockets received Kevin Durant, and in return, the Houston Rockets received, um, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that again. So the Houston Rockets received Kevin Durant. The Phoenix Suns, in return, received Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th overall pick in this week's draft, and 5 second round picks. How do y'all feel about that trade? What say y'all? Me personally, I think it's a lose lose. And my little cousin told me that on Sunday. I'm gonna explain why I think it's a lose lose. It's gonna benefit Houston in the short term, but Kevin Durant will be 37 years old by the start of next season. 37 years old. The man has logged many miles. Um, I understand that he's was in the top 10 in scoring last season. I get that. I get it. And I know that he's been scoring, his scoring has improved in his 30s than they did in his 20s. I get all that. I get it. I get Kevin Durant's box office. I get that. But he's 37 years old. You're not getting 27-year-old KD. You're not getting that KD. You're getting 37-year-old Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant that missed the playoffs the last 2 seasons because he was in oblivion out in Phoenix. I mean, I can't be more clear than that. Um, so in the short term, Houston will make the playoffs. They're going to be one of the top teams in the West, but they're not going to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, who, oh, by the way, just won the NBA championship 2 days ago. They beat the Indiana Pacers in 7 games, and I'm going to touch on that here in a couple of minutes. But they're not going to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're not. I don't think they're going to beat Minnesota. In all honesty, I don't think they're going to be better than. They definitely ain't going to be better than the Thunder. They definitely won't be better than the Timberwolves. Denver, we'll see what Denver does. Um, the Lakers, yeah, they'd be better than the Lakers because you still got Alfred Sangoon. You have Aman Thompson, Usher Thompson's twin brother. You have what's the Fred Van Vliet. So you still have some pieces around Kevin Durant because Van Vliet can score. Um, you have yeah, Amin Thompson, who's a defensive specialist. That young brother could play some defense and he could score. And you have Alphonse Sengun. So you have some pieces there. Oh, and it's the other player they got? Is it Jabari Green? Yeah, I think believe his name is Jabari Green. So they have a few pieces, but that's not going to put them over Minnesota and especially not Oklahoma City because Oklahoma City is going to be good for the next 7 years. Sam Presti is a genius. That general manager in Oklahoma City, what he's doing, they got I forgot how many first round picks they have. Then they're the youngest team to win the NBA championship. Shea Gildas Alexander is still only in his late 20s. Chet Holmgren is in his early 20s. Jalen Williams, early 20s. Dort, all these guys, Hartenstein, all these guys are in their 20s. And they got some young pieces coming in. So Oklahoma City is going to be the cream of the Western Conference for years to come. And until someone makes an earth-shattering blockbuster trade in the Western Conference or acquisition or some draft pick, I don't see them unseating Oklahoma City. It damn sure ain't gonna be Minnesota, and it damn sure ain't gonna be Houston. Before I go any further, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications or whenever I do videos on here. Now, on the Phoenix side, I say it's a lose for them because Jalen Green, he's overrated. And I'm gonna call this person out. I'm not gonna say his name, but someone I was acquainted with. I can't call him a friend. He made the assertion back in 2021 that the Pistons missed the ball and made a mistake by drafting Cade Cunningham over Jalen Green. That's right. He made that insane assumption, that insane statement that the Pistons, my Detroit Pistons, made a big mistake by not selecting Jalen Green. They should have took Jalen Green instead of Cade Cunningham. This dude said that. I am not making this up. He said that Jalen Green was a better player than Cade Cunningham. Now, mind you, numbers don't lie. Look at Cade Cunningham's numbers. Look at Jalen Green's numbers over the last 5 seasons. No, I'm sorry, 4 seasons. From their rookie year in 2022 to last season. The last 4 years, and granted, I give you Cade had injuries his first 2 years. I get that. I grant it. But the last 4 years, look at the numbers. Look at Cade Cunningham's numbers. Look at Jalen Green's numbers. Cade Cunningham's numbers have improved year after year after year after year. Now, granted, he was hurt his first year, and especially in his second year, where he only played like 12 games, I think, 14 games. But the brother could ball. Oh, by the way, Cade Cunningham was an all-star, if I'm not mistaken. He was an NBA all-star. Was Jalen Green an all-star? Cade Cunningham led his team to the playoffs. Jalen Green was a role player on the playoff team. Both their teams lost in the first round. My Pistons lost in six games to the Knicks. They should have beat the Knicks. Should have beat them. And Houston bowed out to the Warriors in 7 games. But nevertheless, Cade Cunningham is the leader of the Detroit Pistons. Jalen Green wasn't the leader of the Houston Rockets. The leader on the Houston Rockets probably was Fred VanVleet, because the damn sure wasn't Jalen Green. And Jalen Green had one good game in the playoffs. One. I think it's that game, the first game where he scored 38 points or something like that, one of those games. But he disappeared the rest of the 6 games. He was poof, be gone. He disappeared in 6 games. Had one good game. And there was already rumblings that Houston wanted to part ways with him because um they wasn't satisfied with his playoff performance. So there was already rumblings that if Houston make a move for a superstar, that Jalen Green was going to be one of the pieces that they shipped out. And look what happened. Jalen Green is gone. He's in Phoenix. It's a lose-lose for Phoenix because, I mean, Jalen Green is a good player. He's athletic. I will give him that. But his attitude, and he's in Phoenix. And I don't think he's going to stay there. I don't think Phoenix is going to hold on to Jalen Green, honestly. Dylan Brooks, Dylan Brooks is a malcontent too. He runs his mouth, just like Jalen Green. They run their mouth, yappity, 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 yappity. More of this and less of this. So I don't think Dylan Brooks is going to stay in Phoenix. He's a veteran player. He spent those years in Memphis, spent the last, couple of years or two, last couple of years in Houston. So I don't know if those two are going to stay in Phoenix, because Phoenix isn't going anywhere. They're an oblivious team. Matt Ishbia has ruined the Phoenix Suns. Matt Ishbia, who owns what is it? No, he don't. Is it UWM? United. No, that's not his company. I'm sorry. I'm thinking somebody else. Never mind what I just said about Matt Ishbia. I forgot what company he owns, but he's from Michigan, a Michigan State alumni, and he doesn't have a basketball IQ. A lot of these owners don't have a clue what they're doing, and Matt Ishbia is one of those owners. I feel so sorry for Devin Booker. Um, Dude only been to the finals one time, and that was 4 years ago against Milwaukee. And he's doesn't like he's going to go back to the finals. And Devin Booker has spent all these years in Phoenix. What has he been there? 11 years, 12 years. The man has put up some good numbers, some huge numbers. Devin Booker is a great player. He deserves better. He deserves out of Phoenix, because Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks are not going to make him better. And they got 5 second-round picks, and we don't know about those picks. They may turn out to be bust, or they may not. It's hit or miss. They got the number 10. They received the number 10 draft pick in this year's draft. This year's draft is weak. Outside of Cooper Flag and maybe the second and third round picks, maybe the first 2 picks, the draft is like a snoozer. There are no big names in this draft. Maybe 2 or 3. We know it's one, and that's Cooper Flag. So maybe 2 or 3 big names, or sort of big names, the second and third picks. But this year's draft is weak. It's weak. It's weaker than last year and the year before that. So that number 10 pick is not going to be, unless they hit a home run on it, which I highly doubt. It's a lose-lose for Phoenix. And we don't know about those second-round picks. So it's to be continued. We know who Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks are. They're good, they're talented players, but they do too much of this and not enough of this. Too much. Dylan Brooks want to start fights with people. Jalen Green want to talk mess to Draymond Green, and you ain't even haven't even sniffed the playoff. You barely got into the playoffs. Well, not barely, but you got put out in 7 games, and you haven't even won a championship. And by the time Draymond Green was in his 4th season in the NBA, he was already uh, in the NBA Finals for the 2nd straight year. His 3rd year, he won the damn thing. His 4th season, they got cheated against Cleveland. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But my point in saying that is Draymond Green, after 4 years in the NBA, had been to 2 NBA Finals and won 1 championship. Jalen Green, you just got to the playoffs, so shut your mouth. Go date older women and be a stepdaddy to their kids who are the same age as you. So again, good player, very athletic, but his basketball IQ stands a lot to be desired. Dylan Brooks, good veteran player, but I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna stay in Phoenix if they're in the long-term plans of Phoenix. So I agree with my little cousin. This was a lose-lose trade for both Houston and Phoenix. But it will benefit Houston in the short term. And when I say short term, I mean short term. This season, maybe next season, because Kevin Durant is not going to stay in Houston long. The man is 37 years old. How much longer is he going to play? Let's be honest. And they're not going to win a championship. They're not. So he's going to probably play in Houston for 2 seasons and demand a trade out of there too, like he did in Phoenix, like he did in Brooklyn, like he did with the Warriors. This is who Kevin Durant is. It's his MO over the last 8 or 9 years. Well, over the last 6 years. This has been his MO. Things don't go my way, I want to trade. And he's been trying to recreate what he did out here in Golden State with Steph and Clay and Draymond, and he has not been able to do it. This is why a lot of people, including myself, said he should have stayed in Golden State instead of going to Brooklyn. And when he went to Brooklyn, he missed that first year because of his Achilles injury. He tried to recreate in Brooklyn what he had out here in Golden State. He the Brooklyn Nets, they got Kyrie Irving and they got James Harden. And they barely played. I don't think they played 30 games together. All that time they were on that team, I don't think they played 30 games together. They could not stay on the court. Kevin Durant was healthy. Kyrie Irving hurt. Kyrie Irving healthy. James Harden hurt. James Harden healthy. Kyrie Irving hurt. And Kevin Durant hurt. They never played. They never could gel. They never were on the court together. And I don't think they barely played. I know they didn't play 40 games together. If they did, it's shocking to me. But they didn't. All them years they were together, they did not play a lot of games. I think maybe 30, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I don't think it was 40. And that's crazy. That is crazy to me. Then he tried to recreate the same thing in Phoenix with Devin Booker and John and no, not John Wall. Lord have mercy. Brandon Beal. Did Brandon Beal even play in 20 games with Phoenix last season? Every time I saw him, he was in civilian clothes on the bench. And he tried to recreate in Phoenix what he had out here in Golden State. And it didn't happen because they didn't even make the playoffs. At least in Brooklyn, they made the playoffs. Phoenix didn't even make the playoffs because Bradley Beal was hurt, was in street clothes, and it didn't matter. It didn't. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker didn't mesh. Now he's in Houston. Fred VanVleet, was he an all-star? He's not like a big name player. And then they had Afron Sangoon. So we shall see how this works out. Moving on. The Tyrese Haliburton injury. That was a sick injury. That was unfortunate. My prayers go out to the young man. I will say this. After he was injured in game 5, he should not have played. The medical staff on the Pacers need to be held accountable for allowing this young man to play in game 6 and in game 7. Okay, he had 14 points in game 6. Indiana blew out the Thunder. Whoop-de-doo. But what happened at the beginning stages of game 7? The young man blew out his Achilles, and it was a horrific, oh my God, it was squeamish. He was writhing in pain, in tears. And when that happened, the chances of Indiana beating the Thunder in game 7, it went down the toilet. They weren't going to beat the Thunder in anyway, even with a healthy Tyrese Haliburton. It would have been a close game, but they weren't going to beat the Thunder. The Thunder's defense was just too much. And they have the MVP. Chet Holmgren too. They just Jalen Williams, who had a monster game in game 5. So they weren't going to beat the Thunder, even with the healthy Tyrese Haliburton. They weren't. We got to be honest about that. And so now Tyrese Haliburton is going to miss all the next season. And Indiana, they'll make the playoffs, but they're not going back to the finals. They're not going back to the finals. They may not win. They may not win the Central Division because that's Cleveland, and I'm gonna say it. It's between Cleveland, and I'm gonna say it. Many of you were gonna disagree with me, and that's fine and dandy. You know how we do. It's between the Cavaliers and my Detroit Pistons because I think the Pistons will be better than the Pacers next season. No Tyrese Haliburton, your best player. He's gone for the year. Um, as well as Jason Tatum. He's out for next season. So is Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard should think about calling it a career because he ain't the same player. And plus, he's 35, 36 years old. But Jason Tatum is still in his 20s, his late 20s. That's crazy. All these years he's been playing, this dude's still in his late 20s, only in his late 20s. And Tyrese Haliburton in his mid 20s. And they have Achilles injuries and they're done for the season. This is the eighth time. No, this is the eighth player to be lost to an Achilles injury. This is unacceptable. Something has to be done. Where star players, where any player is getting missing all this time for an Achilles injury. Is it the shoes they're wearing? Because I know they wear these low cut basketball shoes now, which isn't good for their ankles because it don't give them no support. What the hell is going on in the NBA? 8 players to Achilles injuries. 8 players. It's absolutely insane. Jason Tatum, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, now Tyrese Haliburton. It's insane. And my cousin brought up a great point. He said it used to be a time where Achilles injuries were injuries for older players. Like Dominique Wilkins tore his Achilles at the age of 32. Isaiah, the great Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, Pistons legend, one of my favorite player, probably my favorite player, Isaiah Zeke Thomas, tore his Achilles. He was 33 and he retired. After he tore his Achilles, he said, I'm done. I'm done. I've done all I can for the game of basketball. My body can't take it no more. And he retired at the age of 33. And 33 back then in the 90s, That was in the early '90s. That was kind of old. That was rather old. You were pushing it. But these guys are young. They're not even in their 30s, and they're tearing their Achilles. With the exception of Damian Lillard, it's ridiculous. Something has to be done in the NBA about these injuries. It's just insane. My prayers for Tyrese Haliburton. I hope he has a successful surgery. I don't know if he has surgery yet, but I hope he has a successful recovery. I wish him the best, even though the Indiana Pacers are rival to my Detroit Pistons, and I can't stand the Pacers. I wanted them to lose in the finals. I didn't even want them to beat the Knicks in the conference finals. And that's saying a lot because the Knicks beat my Pistons. And I wanted the Knicks to beat the Pacers. That's how much I don't like Indiana. If y'all remember, 21 years ago, the Pacers started had that brawl at the Palace, Malice at the Palace. One of the worst brawls probably in sports history, if not the worst. Thanks to the Indiana Pacers and some dumb Detroit Pistons fans who actually did start it. But the way the Pacers reacted was just, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, so the Pacers gonna take a they're a notch down now. Like I said, they'll make the playoffs, but they're not going back to the finals because Halliburton is out for the year, and my Pistons should seize on this. Not to gloat on a player getting injured, but seize on the opportunity and take advantage of it. Because I think the Pistons are going to go further in the playoffs than the Pacers, and the division is up to Cleveland and Detroit now. Probably Cleveland. They have a better team, and they did win the division last season, and they won 64 games, but they got bounced in the second round, which is crazy by the Pacers, by the way. But um, yeah, it's the Cavaliers to my Pistons, then Indiana, Milwaukee, and the Bulls. But yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping Trajan Langdon to get a stretch for maybe a Lauren Markkinen or Jonathan Kaminga. We need a stretch four. We need a four that could score the basketball. We need that. It behooves us. We don't have to get a huge name because he said he's not gonna make a super splash because that'll mean giving up key players, young players. But just get a young player, a Jonathan Kaminga or a Laurie Markkinen, and that'll help us. That'll help us greatly. I don't know how much we have to give up to get Laurie Markkinen, though, but something, something. But my Pistons, the Pacers, the medical staff they need to be investigated and fired. They should not have let that young man play in game 6 and game 7 because that calf strain he had in game 5, they said if it had been a regular season, he would have been out multiple weeks for a calf strain. But you let him play in game 6 and then in game 7, and now his injuries is worse because he tore his Achilles. Way to go, Pacers medical staff. Y'all need to be investigated because y'all failed the team and y'all cost them potentially a championship. Some Pacer fans may say that. I don't think so, but who knows? Jrue Holiday has been traded to the Portland Trailblazers for Anthony Simmons and second round pick. So Jrue Holiday goes from Boston to Portland, and Anthony Simmons goes from oblivion in Portland to a playoff contender in Boston. And Boston, just like Indiana, they're going to take a step back because Jason Tatum is going to be out for next season. He, like Tyrese Haliburton, like Damian Lillard, tore his Achilles. He tore his Achilles last month in the second round against the Knicks. Yeah, over a month ago. Well over a month ago against the Knicks. So he's going to be out for all of next season. So Anthony Simmons is a good young player. It's going to help complement Jalen Brown. Um, Boston probably, depending on who the Knicks get as their coach, the Atlantic Division is probably between Boston and the Knicks because the Atlantic Division ain't shit. Outside of the Celtics and Knicks, the Sixers, the Raptors, really, what's another team in the Atlantic Division? Brooklyn. So Philly, Toronto, Brooklyn. Right. It's going to be between the Celtics and the Knicks. So Boston is going to take a step back. I think my Pistons going to be better than the Celtics. I know. Ryan, you think the Pistons going to be better than everybody? No, I'm not saying they're going to be better than Houston, Minnesota, or especially not the Oklahoma City Thunder. But the Knicks, yeah. The Pacers, yeah. The Celtics, yeah. That Jason Tatum injury is going to hurt them. And that's why they went out and got Anthony Simmons. Like I said, he's a good young player. He's been in oblivion out there in Portland because nobody watches him. Who watched the TrailBlazers? I mean, I'm a huge Chauncey Billups fan, but come on. Really? Really? Portland? They haven't made the playoffs in forever. So, he goes to a playoff contender in Boston. And Boston probably be a second round team next year. They're gonna take a step back. Whatever the second the Knicks just was hot. And unfortunately Jason Tatum got injured. And they did win a championship in 2024, the Celtics. So they're a season removed from that. So but that's a good trade for Boston. Jrue Holiday is an older player. I believe he's 35, 36 years old. So Portland gets a veteran player, but it's like, okay. And I think let's see. Did Boston get a second round pick? Let me see. See what the Celtics got. Okay. So the Celtics sent Drew Holiday to Portland for Anthony Simmons and picks. So um the Blazers got Drew Holiday and the Celtics got Anthony Simmons and two second round picks. So this actually benefit Boston. You get a young player in Anthony Simmons and two future second round picks. Okay, Boston. All right, that's good. Trailblazers get an older player, old vet, who won a championship, and Drew Holiday. Blade did, was he in Boston? And yeah, 35. Drew Holiday has won two championships. He won with the 2021 Milwaukee Bucks, and he won in 24 with the Celtics. So you get a veteran player who has two championships on his resume, and Boston gets a young stud in Anthony Simmons and two future second round picks. Okay, well played, Boston. So we shall see how everything pans out with that. But it benefits Boston because they're gonna need a second scoring option now that Jason Tatum is out for the season due to an Achilles. What is going on with the NBA and these Achilles? It's just crazy. And these are superstar players who are getting hurt. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. I never seen nothing like it. I never seen this in football. And football is way more physical than the NBA. You're actually hitting people and trying to hurt people in the NFL. But in the NBA, really? It's crazy. Oh, I must say this. I did not watch one game of the NBA Finals. I, I'm talking about not one full game. I tried to watch game three and I dozed off halfway through the first quarter. Not only that, I had somewhere to be. So I couldn't watch the whole game anyway. But it was my opinion, and I've been out in the streets. I've asked people at the barbershop, asked people on the train, going to work, coming from work, asked people at my job, just people on the street. What y'all think about this year's NBA Finals? The finals that just ended. A lot of people weren't interested. They weren't interested. A few people didn't even know who was playing. But like I said, and I put my opinion aside, they said it was boring. They weren't interested in watching two small market teams with no marketable players, with no marketable players. I'm sorry, Tyrese Haliburton, before his injury, is not a marketable player. Shea Gilgeous Alexander may become a marketable player now that he won the championship. He may become a marketable player. We shall see. But there weren't any marketable players. But when I said that, I don't know nothing about basketball. That was said. I don't know nothing about basketball. You just a front runner. Okay. But the people who said that, I've been watching basketball longer than they have. All these Johnny come latelys kill me. And the one person who said it is a soccer fan. Soccer is his first love. Football. And you got the nerve not to say to me, to tell me that I don't like basketball. I'm being a Negro, please. But I digress. In any event, I'm gonna hop off of here, y'all. Let me know what you think about these trades, about the Tyrese Halliburton injury. Share your thoughts, your opinions, your comments. I would love, love, love to read them. So please, share this video, share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation. Let's flood the algorithm with it, even if though it's dealing with sports. What's going on in the world now? We need, we kind of gotta. There's so much being bombarded on us on a daily basis with what's going on around the world here in the country. It's good to talk about sports, talk about something different from time to time. So drop your comments. Let me know what you think. Share this video. Share it, share it, share it. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button so you get notifications whenever I do videos on here. And like I said, we don't have to agree. Even though this is about sports, we don't have to agree. But let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And in our disagreements, let's use logic, common sense, facts, and respect, not emotions and disrespect. That'll get you nowhere. So share this video, support my YouTube channel and my future projects. It'd be greatly appreciated. I thank y'all for rocking with me. Please continue to do so because I need it. I can't do it. I can't have do these videos without y'all love and support. So please continue to rock with your brother. It's greatly appreciated. And I don't take it for granted. I love y'all. Brothers as well as sisters, y'all be safe out here. Beware and be aware because Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever before. So if you're going to work, coming home from work, we know the children are out of school now. If you're going on vacation, are on vacation currently, running errands, whatever you may be doing, beware and be aware. I read yesterday in the Detroit papers that there was a shooting at the Detroit fireworks. It was outside of a gun-free zone. The people who were shot, their injuries were non-threatening, were non-life threatening. We thank Allah for that. The injuries were minor. One person got shot in the hand. I think one person got grazed in the leg, got hit with shrapnel. But yet and still, that could have been a lot worse than what it was. It could have been multiple people shot and multiple people killed. We thank Allah that it was not worse than what it could have been. But still, with that being said, be safe out here, y'all. People just going out enjoying the fireworks, and some idiots want to start a fight, and one dummy pull out a gun and shoot two people. Oh, and they have him on camera because he had on a hoodie. It was 90 plus degrees in Detroit, 97 degrees in Detroit yesterday. This fool got on a hoodie and shorts. And I think they were like a light blue color and white shoes. Yeah, they're going to find you. And it's accomplished too. Just going to be a matter of time. They're going to find y'all ass, y'all dumbasses. But this is what we're dealing with now. So just be, with that being said, beware and be aware at all times, no matter what you're doing or where you're at, even in your own home. I love y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful day. I will talk to y'all soon, inshallah. I'm going to the Wu-Tang concert tonight over in San Francisco, me and my cousin. This is the Wu-Tang's last hurrah. This is their last concert. So we're going to go see the Wu. The Wu. Shoo! We're going to go see them. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. I love y'all and take care. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.